I've finally gotten around to updating from an older Intel-based full-size PC to a wonderfully minimal Mini ITX RYZEN build. In this video, I'm going to show you the components I use, the build process, performance, and the slight desk and office update I've made to accommodate it. So be sure to subscribe if you like aesthetic tech content, and let's get right into it. Let's talk about this case first. This is the ZX1 Mini ITX enclosure made by iQunix, and it's utterly beautiful. This case comes in two sizes, one for water cooling, which is a little larger, and one for air cooling, which is smaller. I wanted to make a water-cooled PC again this time, so I went with the larger one. It's all magnetic too, so there's no screws on the outside of the case, making opening it and closing it really simple. And those magnets are strong enough to ensure there's no chance of the sides falling off. To be clear with you all, iQunix did send this case out to me after I reached out to them. However, they haven't paid me to say anything, and they're seeing this video at the same time as you are. As this is my first Mini ITX build, I'm starting from scratch completely. Aside from the GPU, nothing from my old PC is going in here, so I needed a totally new set of components. For starters, I went with the MSI B550i Gaming Edge motherboard. I like the look of this one not because of the stupid dragon on it, but because it supported front-end USB-C. I stuck with 32GB of RAM, which for video editing and gaming has been absolutely plenty for me since I've been using it. For power, I had to go with this Corsair modular SFX one so it would fit in the case. For a power supply, it's actually kind of expensive, but I've got to have it, so there it is. Storage-wise, I'm going to use M2 only for this build, so I'm using a Western Digital black 1TB M2 drive, which promises me gaming level performance. This motherboard has space for two of these, so I later decided to grab a 512GB version on sale for some more storage too. To cool everything, I went with an ID Cooling Auraflow all-in-one 240ml water cooler, and honestly, that's mainly because it was white and I wanted it to match the case. And finally, the big switch for me this time round was going with a Ryzen processor over an Intel one. I went with the Ryzen 7 5800X, an 8-core chip, which is going to be a huge upgrade hopefully over my current i7 700K, which in fairness to it has been a really great processor, but I really wanted to see what all the Ryzen fuss was about, and this 8-core one should be pretty good for video editing and the odd bit of gaming I do. Interestingly, I couldn't actually find many good reviews singing the praises of this chip, and most people pointed me towards the Intel i7 10700K, which is a fair bit cheaper, and the difference between them isn't massively noticeable, but I'm here now and I wanted a Ryzen build. So yeah. The only thing I am keeping from my old build is the GPU, which is the GTX 1070 Ti. It's a great card for what I do, and since Premiere Pro started fully utilizing CUDA cores for video editing, it can really fly through all the 4K footage I film. Also, in this current chip shortage we're facing, buying a GPU is just madness, so perhaps this is something I'll upgrade in the future, but right now, no way. And for a final touch, I bought this awesome orange power cable to match the build. After seeing the new iMacs this year from Apple do it, I had to do the same, and I'm so glad I did. It really made the whole thing come together. You may have noticed a few of these items have the Amazon warehouse sticker on them, and while I wasn't out to save a bunch of money on this build, I would always recommend you have a check there before buying anything new. A lot of the time they're just open box items that work as new, and I think I saved around £150 just by buying a few bits through there rather than brand new, which is pretty ideal. Okay, so for the build, I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't easy and it took me basically all day to get up and running. I've built two PCs in the past and I'm not an expert by any means, but I know my way around them quite well. But man, getting everything into this smaller build was a real challenge, and in the end, I needed an extra pair of hands to help me out with some of the more tricky parts. Squeezing everything into this case was tough at times, but there is space in there, and at one point I was really certain there's no way I would get my all-in-one water cooler in there and seal it up, but I did. I've also got to note how well designed the ZX1 case was too. Everything felt super high quality, the aluminium they're using feels really Apple-esque, and they provide everything you need in the box to get it together, including a screwdriver with a few different heads. However, the main issue I did run into was the backplate on the motherboard didn't fit my water cooler, and the one that came in the box with my water cooler didn't fit the motherboard. So that led me to improvise by just not using one. Trust me, I didn't have any other choice. It seems fine though. And I also had to flash the BIOS of the motherboard to allow it to boot from Windows 10 from a USB stick. and there was no real guidance online how to do that other than Reddit and forum posts, which was another headache that lasted way longer than I cared to admit. So what I will say is, if you are thinking about building a Mini ITX PC, or any PC for that matter, then I highly recommend checking to see if all your components will work seamlessly together, because this wasn't really a very fun issue to run into. Despite the pain points I went through, and after working on the build for many hours, I was done, and yep, I couldn't be happier with the look. It's the RGB-free minimal PC I've always wanted, and it looks stunning. It fits right into my office aesthetic really well, and it's also allowed me to complete a long-standing goal I've had for a while, to get my PC off the floor. The addition of the orange power cable has also allowed me not to worry about cable managing the power cord, and I actually like how it's become part of the design of my workspace. The swooping look is really nice, and I'm more than happy to show it off. As for my overall office space, I haven't had to change much to accommodate the new build. I did have to remove the Grove-made monitor shelf to fit both the case and the speakers on the desk, which was a little bit of a shame, but it's allowed me to bring my speakers closer to the monitor, which I really like. My gaming shelf on the left side of the desk has also now been narrowed down from the Xbox and Switch to just the Switch. As I've been enjoying the Series S so much, I've actually moved it to my living room downstairs to play it on the big TV. And I'm still finding the Switch the perfect console to grab when I've got a few minutes spare when exporting or uploading a video. The camera shelf above is still doing well, which now has the wonderful Fujifilm X100V added to it, and above that, my incredibly small book collection is still, well, small. To the right of the desk, I'm still using the excellent IKEA pegboards as my camera charging station and place to hang some general artwork. Something that has changed though is the keyboard. iQunix were kind enough to send over their L80 mechanical keyboard to match the build, which is a really nice touch. This is the cherry red version with an RGB backlight, and I've really enjoyed using it. Not only is it Bluetooth enabled, but it also comes with a 2.4 GHz wireless receiver too, and a really awesome matching coloured cable if you want to go for a wired connection. I've really enjoyed using this thing. The typing experience is absolutely fantastic, and being able to hot swap Bluetooth connections is really useful. Okay, so looking at performance, I'm actually really happy with this PC. Recently, I've had to edit a large client video on Premiere Pro, and there's a very clear difference in the general snappiness and smoothness thanks to the Ryzen processor. I've also noticed export times are also really improved. I'm sure the M2 drives here have also helped with that, as they're much faster than my old M2 drives in my older PC, but there's still a good noticeable difference here, which is always really nice to see when you put all your money into something new. Thermally, things appear to be pretty good. While browsing the internet and using my PC for general tasks, I'm getting around 60 to 65 degrees, and while under heavy loads like exporting videos or gaming for longer sessions, I'm getting anywhere from 75 to 85 degrees, depending on what I'm doing. And considering the size of the case, I don't think that's too bad at all. So that rounds up my new PC and workstation moving forward for the next few years. Other than potentially updating the GPU at some point when things are less crazy, this won't be changing much anytime soon. And I think if you can get past the limitations of a small form factor PC, then I really recommend you look into it. This case has delivered me to that RGB-free wonderland that I've been dreaming of for a long time, and I'm really happy with the result. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and this little build. Let me know in the comments below if you have a small form factor PC, or if you're thinking about getting one, or if you have any questions. Pop a like on the way out, that would be massive, and I will see you all in the next one.